Hey guys, it's Sandra at One Stitch at a Time. So I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys for a minute first, and then I'm going to start on my hexagon bases. Um, so I've been busy. What have you guys been up to? I just finished a couple quilts. I finished a quilt for my husband. It was a pinwheel quilt. I made a pinwheel quilt with sashing and cornerstones for my friend Lori, and I just shipped that off to Georgia. She says she loved it. And I did hand quilting on that. It was a huge quilt. It was more like a king size, and I hand quilted all three quilt layers together. And I just finished that I'm looking at, a little red, red and pink. It's not like bright pink, it's more like a salmon pink strawberry quilt. I had started that for my granddaughter about a year ago. I did not like it. It was too chaotic. And I never, until I was watching another YouTube creator, thought about stashing and cornerstones. I had never tried those. I just did that for my friend Lori for the first time. And then I decided to take this little red pinwheel quilt out of my tote because I threw it in there mad, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw it away. But I didn't throw it away because I bought the fabric and I don't like to waste money. So I'm gonna whiz you around and show you that. I know this light is in the way. But it's got little tiny green cornerstones with little red roses, and I thought that it pulled out the green and the leaves of the strawberries. But that is going to be a Project Linus quilt. And now on to my problem here. This is my hexagon quilt, flower quilt that I'm working on. So this bottom half right here, this is all stitched together. It's like 9 rows, okay? These 2 rows right here, they're sewed across straight in one long row. They're not connected. There's just 2 rows sewed straight across. The top, that was right there to the big piece. And I was tired when I did it, and I didn't realize I didn't iron them flat, so they were like they are now, all bunched up. I don't know if you can tell, they're kind of curled over, sticking off in all different directions. So when I pinned each piece up there all the way across to make sure that I had a good variety of colors, I really couldn't tell that I had one of them offset wrong. So I had to shift the whole row over after I had already sewed the 2 rows together. And I was like, oh no. So now I have, where are we at? See this red right here? I had 3 reds going. I don't know if you can see it up there. There's 2 reds up there on the top and over there. I have a couple of reds, and so I had 3 reds in a row going in a diagonal line. And yeah, so that leads me to, I have to do a bunch of new base units, which I should have did before I did those, because I don't really have a good variety up there. So what I was saying, newbies make mistakes. I'm not new, but this is new to me. Lesson learned: when you make flowers, iron them all flat before you put them up there so that you can tell, you can see better. I'm going to make a bunch of new hexagon base units, which is what, whiz you down here. Oh, I gotta move my light. Sorry. Okay. That's what these are. I have a bunch of new base units. These are stacks of fabric that I have to make base units. My box is half empty. I have to fill it up. Oh, one more thing I wanted to share with you guys before I start making the hexagons. Sorry. I was watching a YouTube video of Missouri Star Quilt Company, and they were talking about this Quilt As You Go template from Daisy and Grace. Now they don't have, Missouri Star Quilt Company does not sell these anymore. It said it was unavailable. But it was this Quilt As You Go template. It's huge. Okay, it's my face. It's as big as my face. But you cut your base piece and your batting piece with this, and then the piece that wraps around it is with this piece, and you fold the seam down. That's why this is so wide. You're going to fold the seam down once and then fold it down again so that your seam is sitting and covering this like this all the way down, and it's not the frayed edge that is open. I've been wanting to make a quilt like that, and I had bought these thinking that I could, but this is a 3/8 seam and it is so teeny tiny. There's no way for me, maybe you can, but for me, I cannot fold the little tiny edge over and fold it over again to make sure that that inside edge, like, it would obviously be a lot neater than this. Okay, here's a big hexagon. You see how this edge is all frayed and exposed? Well, it's not going to be like that with this. It's going to be, the edge is going to be folded over, so it's going to be a fold right here, and it's going to be nice and smooth. Okay, that's what I had bought this for, thinking that I could do that with it, or that I could use this and cut out my templates. But I never used this. I just bought a hole punch, a hexagon hole punch off of Amazon. Much easier. I recommend that. Or you could buy the pieces offline, the little paper pieces already cut for you, and you could do that. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I got this off of eBay. They didn't have it online. They don't sell it with Missouri Star Quilt Company anymore. But I ordered that off of eBay, and it also came with this one. It came with a jewel design one too. So actually your piece would look like this. I thought, ooh, that would be kind of cool to make something with this. And you could make it like flowers, right? Yeah. So that's going to be my next project, which is why I have to finish this one first. So that I can get started on that, because I have a bunch of Tula Pink fabric. Sorry, I have to adjust my chair. I have a bunch of Tula Pink fabric that I just got. Amazon has this wonderful thing, scrap packs, and you can get a bunch of variety of her different lines, which I don't know anything much about Tula Pink, and I thought this would be amazing. And I have a whole, hold on, I'm just going to show you that. And then I'll get all my hexies. Sorry. This, I guess, is the line work. These are fat quarters that I bought. But, because I couldn't, the scrap pack bundle wasn't going to get here for like 3 weeks. And I guess I could have waited, because it's probably going to be at least 3 weeks before I get to it. But I'm not good at waiting. I'm not patient like that. I'm patient. I can hand sew all day long and let something take forever. That's fine. But I'm not patient for shipping. It irritates me. I just thought these were super, super pretty. Let's see if I can hold these down. And it came with some of the lines. And then like a whole bunch of these. They came mixed up. I just separated them into like their own little things. It came with some white fabric. Oh, I love the Curious and Curiouser. I think these are super pretty. But yeah, so this came in with all of that. And it's just a good little variety of fabric. I did order off of Etsy the hexagon ones, the little mini hexagons, fat quarter bundle, and the pom-poms. I thought those were both really pretty. So anyway, now let's get on some hexagons. I'm sorry, I was just chatting away there. But yeah, that's what I want to work on next, and I really want to start it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make myself finish this because I really just want to get it done. And these were jelly roll. I did buy them cake layers. It was a pain to cut. So I was like, I'll just get the jelly roll. That'll work. And I can just cut it in sections, and then I just haphazardly cut the corners, and to make it a little easier so it's a little neater on the back, so it's not so much piled up. My first pieces are not trimmed, and they practically cover the whole back of the piece of paper, the cardstock, and which was fine because I didn't really need to be able to mark it. But as my quilt was growing and I have that big section, and when I go to add sections to it so that I'm not mixing it up, when I get a long line of them done, when I sew a whole row cross, the first one I write R's on the back of it for the right side, and that way I know I'm attaching all the right side pieces together, and then I know that I don't have to write 1, 2, or 3 or anything like that, because it's going to match up exactly the way I had it up there on the board when I was planning out where I was going to lay them out. So there's that. Yeah. And I'm just gonna, do you guys use a double piece of string, or do you use a single when you do it? I like to use a double piece. I end up wasting some thread, but it's fine. It doesn't bother me. My mother-in-law gave me a long time ago a bunch of thread that was her mom's, and I just pulled out excuse me, some colors so that I had different colors for the different ones that the thread will show up on when I baste. Check this out. This is Talon, 35 cents. And there's a blue one. Talon, 35 cents. Could you imagine? Hold on, let me just take a sip real quick. Could you imagine paying 35 cents for thread? I just ordered some Aurifil thread off of Missouri Star Quilt Company. They had it for 25% off, and when I hand quilt, which I will hand quilt, if I do a hexagon quilt with that tulip pink fabric, which I'm planning to, I'm going to hand quilt it, so I wanted some size 12 thread, and I was so excited because they had a 3-pack of pink, orange, and I want to say green, of tulip pink 3-pack for her Untamed line. So I'll probably use that to hand quilt the hexagons. And I ordered some size 12 thread. I don't mean to keep saying as I'm doing and working at the same time. My brain just, wrong side. My brain just short circuits. It takes a minute to catch up. So let's do some hexies. I think that's all I wanted to talk about today, really. Just finished those quilts and got that new template. I'm excited for that. You know, it's funny because at the beginning of this year, I was like, I am not going to buy any more fabric. I'm not buying any more tools. I spent so much money last year. I mean, I guess you can't really see what I'm doing. Let me move this down. I spent a ton of money last year on stuff, and I was like, I did need it, but maybe some of it I didn't. And I was like, I'm just going to use what I have this year. I'm not going to spend a lot of money. Well, I really wanted the Tula Pink stuff, so I bought a bunch of those scrap packs. I think I bought 9. I bought off of Fabric Outlet, I bought a bunch of solids, fat quarters to mix in. And I also really like the Lori Holt stuff. I got a bunch of background fabrics, which are like the whites with like the lighter colors on it, like for blenders. Because I have some Americana jelly rolls, and those didn't come with any of the white fabrics that go with them. So I got I think a fat quarter of those. I want to make something with that. I have so many quilts planned out, so little time. I wish it didn't take me as long to quilt and I could get the stuff done quicker, but that's not the case. I'm just not that fast. I wish. Some stuff I've tried to chain piece on, but my brain just, sometimes it'll confuse me and I'll end up screwing up, so I tend not to do a lot of, some chain piecing I can do, but like when you're doing chain piecing for a lot of different blocks, I can't do that at one time. Some people can, and they get the stuff done so fast. My brain don't work that way. It confuses me and I end up screwing up, and then I get ticked off and I just can't do that. My nose is really itching today. I'm not sure why. We did have a couple days of really nice weather, and I'm not sure if it's pollen or what, because I do see some leaves on the trees starting to peek out, but it's really cold today, which is why I'm sewing today, because I have outside work to do and it is too cold to work outside today. I can't paint today. The paint will freeze. It'll mess up. I mean, you could totally do it. You could totally paint it, but it's not going to look good. As soon as it warms up, the paint's going to start flaking off and cracking, and it doesn't look good for you. So I don't do stuff like that. I don't do, or my husband, we don't operate that way. Sure, you could do it now and cash your check and make your money quick, but it's going to come back to bite you one way or another. I don't want to make a name for myself like that. This is the worst part of hexagons for me. It's making all these little base units. It just seems like it takes forever. And you don't really have nothing to show for it, it feels like. If I would shut up and put on some music, which I'm going to after I'm done recording, I can zip right through these things, because the beat kind of helps keep me moving. I was watching something and doing these, and I caught myself doing more watching than more basting. Oh, should I play chicken? Nope. I just have to get another piece. Tie it. I know. Gross. But this is for me. It's not for anybody else. Even if it was for somebody else, I wash all my stuff before I give it to them. So most of the DNA is going to be gone. So if the quilt police are watching this, carry on. Go spread your negativity elsewhere. Now, I know you can tie a knot before you cut the thread on here like that, but I have to take my stupid little thing off before I do it, and I don't feel like taking off my thing. Oh, by the way, I made this. This was a huge 2-finger thimble thing, and it was way too big, and I have a little clover leather thimble. I need to order another one of these. It's starting to get holes in it, and my needle snags in it sometimes, so I stopped using it. And I thought, I wonder if I can make one out of this leather. Well, I cut the pieces too small actually, but I finally have it stretched out enough that it fits. And my stitching's coming out because I didn't do that great of a job stitching it. I didn't want to take my time and then it didn't work. But it actually works pretty well. I actually don't need a thimble for this because I'm using a thick needle. But yesterday and the day before, I was sewing my hexagon flowers together and I used a little teeny tiny milliner's needle, and I forgot to put my thimble back on because I was poking holes and I was looking for this one, and I snagged my finger and put a couple holes in my finger, and it's kind of tender. So till that heals, I'll wear my thimble again. I was ashamed to have to cut that just for this, make another thread piece, but that's okay. So that's my plan for today. I'm just going to be basting a million little hexagon units. This will be my last tray. My box right there that I showed you. This will be my third time filling it up, and it'll be the last time, I hope. And then I just got to think about how I'm going to do the edges because it kind of goes like this. And my plan was to fold the edges over, make a straight line, and then quilt up to it, because otherwise I think I'm gonna have to make some hexagons for the edge and then run my fabric up to them or something. I'm not sure exactly how that would work. I didn't think that far ahead. I don't want to do that. It looks like it's going to be really annoying to me. So I'm going to have to make it wider, because when I fold the edges over to make it a straight line, I'm going to lose quite a bit on the edge. It's going to make it much more narrower. So I'm going to have to add some hexagons, more hexagons to the edge, and it'll be like half flowers, I guess. Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that is the plan. I'm sorry if y'all don't like to hear me hammer on. I apologize. Maybe you prefer quiet videos. Oh, why don't you put a comment down there and drop a comment and tell me if you prefer I be quiet and just do silent videos where you can watch. Or you can just turn the sound off. Tell me what you prefer. Tell me what kind of videos you would like to see. Would you like to see the processes when I make a quilt from start to finish, or just like posting videos of what I'm working on and on that day? I don't know. Let me know. My whole 1 subscriber, which I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you very much. My 1 subscriber. I do. You are my star. I appreciate you. So I also just want to say, if you have watched this whole video, it's in 23 minutes now, I want to thank you for watching. If you liked this video, would you give me a like, a comment if you care to? I don't even care what you say, as long as it's nothing really negative. Give me a subscribe if you would like. Tell me what kind of videos you would like to see. I don't mind. I'll try and make some. But thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and watching me and listening to me yammer on. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that nothing but good things come your way. I hope whatever you're wishing and you're praying for and hoping for happens. I hope that things are going great for you, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world. I hope things are going good for you, and I hope that if things are not going good for you, maybe this few minutes that you watched my video, it has distracted you and you're not thinking about the bad things. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope that things go your way. That's my wish for you. Thanks for watching.